I've been around the SEO industry a bit, spoken at a few conferences, been in the affiliate lab and authority hacker, internet marketing golds.
There is two part of people still available. One is saying AI content is okay, otherwise saying AI content is not.
But it really all comes down to the reader and what they're looking for and what their intent is. And once you know that, it makes it a lot easier.
Hi Kevin, this is Joy and welcome to my podcast. This is called GrowPod and this is my fourth episode and
Nice.
it's been an honor to have someone like you in my pod.
Thank you.
And for everyone who is watching this and who will be watching this podcast, I want to give some small introduction about Kevin. So Kevin is someone who is very well known in SEO and copywriting community, and Kevin has been featured on the Affiliate Lab and Authority Hacker, two most highly respected sources in the field of affiliate and SEO. And and again, it's been an honor to have you. And if you'd like to give a small introduction about yourself.
Thanks for saying that and thanks for having me. I am a content writer and copywriter, and right now I'm mostly training content departments to use AI and create content at scale, but I also do copywriting, consulting, sales pages, writing content for some clients. So yeah, we do hiring and training, anything that has to do with content and AI and copywriting consulting at the time. I've been around the SEO industry a bit, spoken at a few conferences, been in the affiliate lab and authority hacker, internet marketing golds, and also been on a few different podcasts like yours.
And one thing you maybe didn't mention, you play a great guitar as well.
Oh yeah, not bad. Thank you, and yeah, I work from home, so there's really nothing else to do but play the guitar.
Yeah, and you played really well. And you should make more videos about it. I like to watch this.
I'm working on one now, actually. It should be done tomorrow afternoon.
It will be more perfect than what you're doing right now. So I have many friends actually who did your course, the copywriting course, and I'll soon have your one as well. It's really good. I mean, I to even know you from someone, from a friend. He said, "Do you know Kevin? I used to don't know you before, but when I saw your copywriting course and they said it's really good, and then I was in Facebook group and it was really good because I saw some of your content tips all over the Google and from some in YouTube as well. So it was really great, and it would be definitely recommend someone if someone wants to learn copywriting and anything related to SEO writing, they should at least see one's post and should be in that group. And
thank you, man. Thanks for saying that. Thanks for watching the course. Those courses take forever, man. It takes so much work to do. I'm kind of glad it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to make another one. There's so much work.
So in not coming another one soon? Or?
I mean, I'll keep the one that I have and make some updates as as like AI continues to progress. I'll have to update the course for sure. But I'm not sure if I'll make a new one. Yeah, I'll have to think about it.
Yep. So today I just want to ask you some questions related to the website copy and this AI content and everything, because lots of things happening with the content marketing these days, and in SEO if there is change something more, and I think this is number one thing should be the content. And everyone, there is two part of people still available. One is saying AI content is okay, otherwise saying AI content is not, and there is middle part of people like me who thinks AI is okay, but it should be the copy and how you are delivering the value and everything around it. I'm personally using it as well. So my first question is very simple. Like, if anyone own a business or any business, how they should write their website copy to that increase the conversions? Because this is the number one factor, right? If anyone's doing anything, everything comes around with the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, conversions are really important. It's just, it depends on what kind of page it is, but it really all comes down to the reader and what they're looking for and what their intent is. And once you know that, it makes it a lot easier to write a page. So if it's something like a service page, then you would need to know, okay, who is the reader that's going to land on this page? What makes my business different? How can I differentiate myself from other competitors? What makes me unique? You need to think about what might this customer be looking for. What are their objections? What are their desires? What's their current level of knowledge? Where are they in the sales funnel? That's going to help you differentiate yourself, give a better reader experience. It's also going to help your copy resonate with them more. If you just give them facts and information about the company, then that's nothing different than everybody else. If you're just using ChatGPT to put, some basic content, say that you sell SEO services, and you make a landing page about, with about SEO services with ChatGPT. There's nothing different about you there. You have to think about what's different about me. Is it my team? Is it my approach to things? Is it that I am a small agency and I have more time to focus on you? Is it that I'm a large agency that has a lot of resources and can scale you up really fast? Is it your testimonials? Do you have a lot of great client reviews? You have to think about your customer. Oh, I typically work with agencies and I know agencies have this problem and they have this objection and this thing that pisses them off. You can add that into your copy and be like, I know you're dealing with this and that's what I specialize in solving. I can solve it this way. Just get on the phone with me. That's going to help your target market be like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. I'm working with right now a client who sells HVAC machines, like brazing machines. And he has a lot of people who do, brazing, which I didn't know much about before I even started working with them. But we have to think about, okay, so he gets some people on the phone and he sells these big machines to them. Okay, well, that means we need to figure out what are the people on the phone saying? What are they curious about? What questions did they have? What about the machine do they want to know? What objections do they have? Oh, maybe it takes too long. Maybe it's too expensive. All of those different things. And you need to work that into the copy as well. If you just start with unique facts and statistics, that's a good place to start. Good testimonials is a good place to start. And also understanding your reader's emotional state. Is it a high emotional state? Are they very emotional? Is it something that's is it like weight loss or, finding true love or something like that? Okay, that's like a high emotional state. Is it a lower emotional state where it's like, oh, they're just looking for some cheap electronics? If they're just looking for like a cheap electronic, you don't have to get all crazy and emotional in your copy, But I work with a mental health clinic, and a lot of the content that we write also has to have a lot of hope and a lot of understanding the reader. Like, we know you're struggling. We know you want things to get back to normal. We can help you. There is hope no matter how far down the rabbit hole you are, no matter what your budget is, no matter your situation, we can help. And here's how. Just give us a call. So, I can ramble forever about this stuff, but just to sum it up, try to understand, one, what differentiates your company, and put that into your content. Two, think about what the reader wants and maybe some of their objections, maybe some of the things that they've said to you before. If you don't know, you can look around the web, Amazon reviews, Reddit, Quora, whatever. Try to look at the things that they're saying, work that into your content. Think about, did I say emotional states already?
Yeah, you mentioned everything.
Yeah, think about high or low emotional states. Think about using your own testimonials, and obviously benefits and differentiation. Like, if you just talk about, here's what a brazing machine is, here's what a brazing machine does, here's what a brazing machine costs. It's like, that's not what people want. Why should I choose you? Why should I choose your brazing machine? So
how it should be solve my problem, right? What I'm solve.
Solve your problem, and also show them the difference. Here's you with another company, here's you with our company. Here are the differences. You can even put a table there that shows them, here's what most companies do, here's what we do, or here's before you buy this machine and after you buy this machine. That kind of stuff. I love little tricks like that. Yeah.
Wow, already great knowledge in the first question, honestly.
No worries,
honestly, and this is the main thing people actually missing on when writing content about conversion. It should be focusing on the reader. It should be solving their problem, right? It should be highlighting their pain points. Nothing like what we do. They like to read how you can help them. This is the main content. And great answer. I think it covers everything people wants to know. And the second question I would be coming around is very similar to that. Personally, I love two person for this one, and they are very good in storytelling. One is my all-time favorite, Russell Brunson, and another one is Sabri Subi and Russell Brunson, two great guys who is really good, I think, in storytelling. They know how to, attract people or more with their storytelling ability. So what do you think, how we can use storytelling for any businesses? It's more used in personal brand, but how it can be reflected in your business?
Yeah, I think that storytelling is obviously really good for sales pages. It's really good for product reviews. You want to tell a story to get people hooked into your product. My biggest use of storytelling is in blog content where, if we're writing about something that's like, how do we use AI for SEO content? And you have an article about that. That's where you can tell a little story inside of it and being like, hey, before we had AI, our team was only producing 7,000 to 8,000 words a week and it was pretty expensive, but after we used this AI training, we used, a custom GPT trained on conversational habits. We did this and we did that. Now our content team is producing 20,000 high quality words a week for the same price, So just little things like that. I like to add little stories like that into content. It could be something like, if we're talking about using an AI writing tool, we have the 5 best AI writing tools, and we're talking about ChatGPT or something, or Claude or whatever, auto blogging or ZimWriter, Surfer, whatever. We can say okay, imagine this, you're writing a piece of content it's like 6:45 p.m. and you've been working all day and your brain is burned out. You want to do anything else but working on this article. It's like, instead of destroying your brain and writing 3,000 words, it takes you 3 hours. Now you have this writing tool. You work 30 or 40 minutes on building a nice solid outline with unique facts and statistics, and you click generate. And then once it's generated, all you do is spend 20 minutes editing, and now you've worked 1 hour instead of 3 hours, and you could spend that free time taking a nap or going outside or whatever. I like to add stories like that into content when I'm trying to like drive the point home about how valuable a service or a product is.
Okay.
And I think that's something that people can do in almost all of their articles. Is give these kind of like imaginative examples where the reader, imagine themselves that situation and see the value of the product. This piece of AI, they probably can identify with that situation. If they're looking for the best AI writers, then they can identify with that situation and be like, oh yeah, I have been sitting there and I have to write a piece of content and I just don't want to do it. And my brain hurts and this sucks, And then if you show them, okay, twist the knife a little bit, you want to go home, you've been in the office all day, your brain hurts, yada, yada. It's like, now you have this AI tool that's going to solve that. Instead of doing this, you can do that. It's going to take this pain away. It's going to take that pain away. So I like adding stories like that, storytelling like that into my blogs.
Oh, that's amazing. And I was about to bring AI in our conversation, I guess, in the later, but it's already here. So I want to ask you something. What is your personal and which one is your personal favorite AI tools for now or for the whole time you've been using?
So I still use ChatGPT. I'm a dinosaur, man. I'm a boomer AI user. That's it. I still use ChatGPT, because I have just a custom GPT that's trained on all of my rules. I've still got this really long chat window open for a lot of different clients that I use, and it understands all my habits. It understands the words that I like to use. It understands the phrases I like to use, my style, and all of that. It's pretty good at it now. I mean, I still have to edit things a lot. I still put in a lot of time editing, and I put in a lot of time to prompting, like into building an outline with a lot of good context. And so it understands, though, mostly my style and stuff. So there's really no point in me switching, because if I switch to another tool, then it's probably going to take me a long time to train that tool up, or it's going to take me a long time to edit the content to get it to where I like it. So, just to me, ChatGPT works the best. And I think that other AI tools, I think that they all have a lot of good value for SEO. I have used Pop before. I have used Surfer. I have used auto blogging. I think they're all solid. They're good for SEO. The problem is that those tools do a lot of the work for you, which is good for an SEO person that's kind of lazy and doesn't want to do any content writing. It does the work for you. The problem for me is that the more work the AI does, the less input I have, and the more, let's say, generic the content is going to be. Whereas I want to write really unique content with unique insight from myself and my unique voice, which is difficult to do when you use an AI writer like that, because they do so much of the work and generation and optimization for you, which is great for speed and scale,
I think I totally agree with you, because ChatGPT is something I personally use as well and live it, because I can train it myself, and I already did train it. And my custom GPTs are actually someone who can, think like me. Not maybe 100%, but almost can think like me and produce what I like to see. And this is so true.
It's true. And, in case somebody is listening and they think like you need to do fine tuning or something, you don't. Every time I say like on Facebook, training a custom GPT or something, because training is the only word I know how to use. So when I say like training a custom GPT, I don't mean like actually fine tuning it. I don't mean like actually digging deep into like the LLM and doing that kind of training. I just mean inputting all of the rules that you want it to follow, giving it some examples to follow that you really like, and then generating the content in a conversation window and continuously iterating and just being like, I don't like this, I do like this. Oh, when you do this instead. Or you use this cliche phrase, can you please use this phrase instead? You did this, you use this word, don't use it, use this word instead. Just like iterating with it and talking back and forth with it until you get it to a place where you're really happy with the output. So yeah, don't confuse that with like fine tuning where you're actually, changing the base programming or whatever of an LLM. I don't do that. I do this for clients as well. If you have a client in the healthcare niche, they're going to need a different tone of voice, a different word usage. And if you just say, a lot of SEOs will just attach like a document and say, oh, do this and use this tone and say this to the reader and make sure you focus on benefits and make sure you focus on this and, be an expert medical care provider. None of that shit works. It does not work. The AI just totally disregards those instructions and it doesn't understand them. It doesn't have the context. It doesn't understand the reader. Okay. it doesn't know if you say like, oh, be a medical professional. It might use more medical words, but it's not going to act as like an expert doctor and analyze things perfectly. You're going to get the same generic output. If you give it like 100 rules in a PDF, it's not going to follow them. It's too many rules. It doesn't understand them. It's going to overload the processing. I've seen it all the time where we're training custom GPTs to sound like a client's voice. And they say all these different things in these PDFs that they upload are in the custom GPT backend instructions. And they say like, oh, make sure you speak like a human. Make sure that you sound natural. If it were as easy as telling AI to sound human, none of us would be in business. It's not just going to sound human.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just not that simple. You need to break those things down into very clear rules. Like instead of say sound human or sound conversational or sound empathetic or sound warm, you need to give a set of rules. What does conversational sound like? Say this instead of this. Write like this instead of this. When this happens, do this. Don't use these types of sentences. Don't use this construction. When you want to sound empathetic, sound warm using these words. Identify with the reader using this emotion. When I say this, do this. Use a transition that says this. When I say the word hope, I want you to understand this. Give it very specific instructions. That's what it will understand. Because a lot of people think they're like prompt engineering like masters,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, check out this content I make, and it's shit. It's so bad. I'm sorry.
I'm seeing also a lot of people like
all
this,
the
man.
time,
And this
man.
is so true. So true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely agree with that.
And don't get me wrong, like for SEO, like I'm not saying the AI writing tools produce shit. Like they produce good stuff that's readable. It's good for SEO and it's good to skim and it has all the keywords. And so it's usually free of cringe. So that's good. That's good, and that's good for SEO and good for, a base level quality for readers. But, there are a lot of people who just think they've mastered this like prompt engineering stuff and they're totally off base,
Totally off base.
You see the output that it produces. It's super generic. It's super cringe. It's like it uses a lot of AI words. It uses a lot of like AI phrases. Like it does too many question and answer. Why does that matter? Well, I'll tell you. Or if you're wondering about this, I can help you with that. Or whether you're a this or that, I can show you this. Like very common AI words.
Phrases in AI.
Yeah. So what they don't realize is that they put in these amazing like 1,000-word prompts full of instructions that AI is just disregarding, and it's just defaulting to its generic programming. But a lot of SEO people and a lot of marketing people don't have content writing knowledge, don't have copywriting knowledge, so they don't know how to evaluate the end product that they're creating. Just yesterday, somebody posted like, look at this AI content I created in 2 clicks. How do you think it sounds? And it was just, it was not good. So yeah, that's my rant on AI content.
Yeah, and this is again totally honest opinion, and what you say, totally agree with that. And if I come with the SEO as I am, and many SEOs are actually using AI or any kind of content for content is the king for SEO as well. So my next question would be like, apart from the content, how someone use headlines on CTAs more for the copywriting, something like that. So what would be suggestion if someone writing headlines or CTAs, how it should be written so that it could increase the CTR, click-through rate and everything?
I'm not really an expert on local SEO. I wouldn't really feel comfortable saying this is how you write a headline for local SEO. And to me, like based on my experience, I'm pretty sure including the locality, like the city or the town in the headline is probably the most important.
Any business,
the most important thing. But yeah, headlines, the number one thing you have to do is not write a generic headline like everybody else is using. Don't use like an AI generated headline. You want to be unique with unique business, unique things about your business in the headline. I like to write big headlines. I like to write a pre-headline where I'm just like, attention. And this is something that's been done a lot on Nothing Held Back, and Alan Sultanetz has come up with this stuff. So I've been taught how to do this from other people. So I'm not going to claim credit, but you have the top pre-headline where it's like attention, and you talk to your target market. Hey, so for SEOs who are looking for this, and then you have a big headline in the middle. The headline is going to be, I like to use transformative headlines. Again, I got this from Alan's group. How to go from this, and this to this, and that. How to go from tired and hungry and out of shape to full of energy and shredded and happy. That kind of stuff. And then you say how you're going to do it using this brand new formula that you can do in 2 weeks or less. That kind of thing. Or you can say like something like the first ever service or the first ever software for target market that does problem solving, that kind of thing. I like to do that as well. Or, it could also be something as simple as like how to book. Yeah, I think you've probably all seen these on Facebook or Instagram or in ads, all the time. It's like how I book X amount of things in X amount of
Just
time
X amount of time, yeah. Yeah.
using this brand new system that I found on the side of the road in a dumpster. I don't like those too much, because I'm just getting tired of seeing them. But hey, I think the reason people use them so much is that they work. I've seen them work, and we used a headline on client's page one time. I'm trying to think exactly what it was, but it was something like, how to benefit using the first ever tool, and then you have some like kind of call it that curiosity made by a professional crypto trader in his basement, like how to trade like a pro and make this much money and get this much more sleep using this, and then you use like curiosity using this brand new trading bot created by this professional crypto trader, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different ways you can write headlines, but yeah, number one thing for me is that pre-headline where it's like, here's the target market. I can even just look at the one that I wrote for my AI course. So it's got a pre-header, attention, SEOs, bloggers, startups, and content agencies. Discover my brand new method for writing humanized, high-converting content with AI that ranks, hooks, and converts, even if you know nothing about content writing. And then you have learn how to go from boring, AI cringe, low-converting content to unique, humanized, and high-converting web copy without expensive tools, prompt engineers, or decades of writing experience. Ooh.
Oh, this is really hooky, man.
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit formulaic, but the formulas are there because they work,
Yeah.
And just because you have the formula doesn't mean you can easily write the content. You need to know what your audience is looking for, and I know personally that my audience is like, they're tired of AI cringe. They're tired of like prompt engineers taking thousands of dollars and not getting anything out of it. Tired of not having human sounding content. So, they're tired of low engagement and low conversions. So that's why my headline includes things like that. So again, like good copywriting, it's not about actually writing. It's not about writing is almost misleading. It's not about writing something down. It's not about the writing itself. It's about how much do you understand the customer and what they want from you? How can you position your offer? So I know that I have the formula, and then I can put in what my target market wants. They want high converting content. They want it to sound human. They don't want that cringe. They want it to be on brand, and they don't want to waste money on AI stuff that's not working for them.
Yeah, Ben, that's a good answer again. My next question is like, this is the most important uses of content for me. I'm personally watch so many, copywriting courses and copywriting tips like of this for my personal brand. So how can you actually use, or someone can use content better for someone personal brand? I mean, everyone have different tone of styling copy or everything different, right? So if you have any suggestion, anything related for the personal brand. So, yep.
I think that a lot of building your personal brand comes down to providing unique and helpful value to people as often as possible. Having a Facebook group where you share tips and case studies and stuff without being too salesy, saying things like, hey, I've got here's a helpful tip from my agency today. I follow a lot of SEO guys, Matt Diggity and Corey. There's a lot, Kyle Roof, but like Matt and Corey specifically always are sharing very helpful, stuff on their Facebook walls, and it's not spammy. It's not like, it's not overly salesy or anything like that. It's just very helpful. And that's the kind of stuff that I gravitate to. And I think that's the kind of stuff that most people gravitate to. So it all starts with providing that unique, helpful value. And now with AI, so many people are just taking AI and they're just rehashing the same BS stuff on their Facebook and LinkedIn all the time. I even saw a guy on LinkedIn who used AI to write a post about how he doesn't use AI for his agency. And it was clearly AI generated. There were like EM dashes. There were things like, whether you're doing this or that, I want you to know this. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like AI. It just so much. I feel like almost 80% of his post about not using AI was generated with AI. There's so many people doing that. And look, more power to you, man. If it's working, do it. It's just, I found it kind of funny. But so it starts with, providing that unique and helpful value, not just rehashing what other people are saying. Oh, Kevin Jepsen is another one, if anyone knows him.
I know
Facebook.
him.
He's always providing good stuff, and
good stuff, and there's a lot of information.
Sorry, there's a lot of people I'm missing right now, so forgive me if I've forgotten to mention you. I'm trying to think of people that I follow who share good stuff. But so yeah, it starts with that. But in terms of how to use like copywriting principles, I think what I've really focused on is like positioning and differentiation, which is big in copywriting. Positioning and differentiating your product from other products, your brand from other products and services and brands out there. And for me, a big part of my marketing is us versus them. And actually you see this in everywhere. You see it in sports, you see it in business, you see it in politics. It works, this us versus them stuff. Where it's like, so for me, it's like, I'm always like, oh, these generic AI bros, they're trying to sell you this stuff that doesn't work. Me, on the other hand, I'm doing like real content. And I know that sounds kind of douchey. I'm not saying it's the best and most amazing thing to do. I'm just saying that's my branding. It's maybe not even always true. I think those people also have very good value to give people. I think most people are doing really good work. It's just my advertising is that, my advertising is like, don't listen to people who aren't content writers. They're just AI people. Like they know everything about AI, but they don't know AI content. Then I'd be like, okay, you can trust me though. I'm a content writer. I'm a copywriter. So, I mean, maybe there is some truth to it. I don't know. But that's my, that's the way I use like positioning and differentiation to improve my personal brand. And you could also focus on copywriting emotions. Like there's greed, there's social proof. There's stuff like a shiny new object, that's big. There's also stuff just like saying something is the best, that kind of ties into the other ones. So there's a lot of different copywriting emotions that you can use in your posts where I'm like, you can say like, hey, today's I want to share with you a post that helped a client of mine make, go from $0 to $45,000 in sales, using 3 tips. So that's kind of like, that might get people to read. I had one, anger is another one. Anger is a big one. Obviously we see it in politics all the time. People try to get other people angry because it works,
Yeah.
I had one that did really well. I think it had like more than, for me, it's a lot. I think it had something like 80 to 100 likes on it and a lot of shares.
And recently I've been seeing like negative headlines, something like that. People are...
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like a negative headline. Negative headlines work in like media for sure.
Yeah.
But what mine was more like emotionally charged. It's like, I have to rant about this for a second, So that even that word rant, it gets people to think like, oh, this is going to be negative and emotionally charged. I want to read it, and more of that positioning. I was like, I need to rant about human content versus AI content for a minute, And then I went into being like, anyone who says AI content isn't good has never worked with human writers before. Human writers are effing impossible, So yeah, I mean, I think like, generic AI writing is not good, but generic human writing is not good either. Human writers are very difficult to work with. So that was my rant. That was like the anger that was coming across in my post, and people really liked it. And also, using those copywriting emotions is good. Using that differentiation is good. Having that real, having that unique selling point of your brand is really important. So again, like with me, it's like I'm a real copywriter. I mean, for real, okay, that sounds dumb, but I'm a copywriter rather than just an AI person who's getting good at writing content with AI, So that's like my position on things. And I have a lot of data to back up, like, okay, we have more time on page, we have more clicks, we have more conversions, we have more sales and that kind of stuff. And other people like, Corey is one of them. He has a really very, very well-defined value proposition, right? Where he has this semantic system that I don't even fully understand,
Yeah,
but he's very
super useful.
Yeah, when you see like a Corey post, it's like it's him. It's his brand. The same with Matt, where it's like, okay, he's an agency owner and he's giving you tips from his agency, or he's an affiliate SEO guy with a course and he's giving you tips from inside that course. I don't want to keep talking about them, or like, I'm trying to think of somebody else off the top of my head. Is there anyone you follow?
I follow so many people actually. If I start naming people, it will be a lot of people. But yeah, Matt is one of my favorite, and Corey, I miss this trend as well. I mean, not official, but yeah, I've been doing semantic course. I have been loving Yawar's course, and a lot of guys. This Kyle Roof is one. I have been the IFG group members for several months, and so there are a lot of guys actually. If I talk about, but again, and the branding is something I've been working with.
That's a good point. It's like having a group. Is really good. Alan Sultanet's in Nothing Held Back. Yeah, he's got
maybe I will make that as well soon. We've been talking in the inbox, so if I get him, that would be big.
That would be great. Yeah, I was just saying that his group is really good, but it's also like his brand. Like when I see a post of his, it's like, okay, I know that's his brand.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
and he is legend, man.
I have like a very angry kind of angsty style of writing. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just that maybe it's venting I'm such a chill person in real life that I'm venting. It's like my, like people go to boxing or fighting to get their anger out, It's like me, I get angry about content, And so that's kind of like people, I'm always like ranting and raging about like, this doesn't work. Stop saying this. People are dumb, Don't like that's my style. I hope that when people see my style, like they can think, okay, that's Kevin. Maybe he's a bit too much.
And that should be the main motto of the content. People remember for your writing. So yeah, I saw this, someone follow the same pattern. Like everyone have the same pattern. If you see like Sabri Sufi's website or anyone, you know immediately this is Sabri Sufi because this is his style. Same for the Russell, same for the Matt. Everyone has the different, like Corey. If you see his video, this semantic term, if you the first name, it will come in your mind, okay, it is Corey. So yeah, this definitely, this should be the main purpose, personally I think, of the content, that it should be reflect you, like who actually you are, and it is very good if you that reflect by your content. And
sure.
If I want to ask you the last question, honestly, it was a great conversation, and I'm loving it because I love to talk about the content, AI, SEO, everything, this stuff.
Me too, man. I talk about it too much, man. I could talk for hours about this stuff, sadly.
Yeah, and definitely what you're saying, the people love it, man. And that's why if you have say something about your course, so that I know what is your course is about and I love it. So if someone, definitely they're already curious about like what is in your course. So if you can give me like an overview or anything, so that I can say some more people and overview of your course, like what your course is actually about and what it includes, everything.
Yeah, so right now the course it's just how to build an AI content department that's AI assisted, So just using AI to write your content is not enough. It's good for SEO. It's you can get away with it. I think if you use AI writing tools and you do a little bit of editing, the content can be solid. I have nothing against any of the AI writing tools out there. I just want to say that they're all solid. It's just that if you want to create really high quality content using AI, you need to have a decent amount of human involvement and understanding of the topic. But so like AI, the best way, in my opinion, to use AI is to use it to double your efficiency. It's not to have it do all of the work. It's to have it do about 50 to 60% of the work. Unless you're talking about low competition keywords and you have a good brand and stuff. If the keyword is not very competitive and you don't need to write an amazing piece of unique content to rank for it, well, then it's fine just to use some basic AI with some basic human edits. But for most content, you want AI to do about 50% of the work or 60% of the work. So that's the idea behind the course, is to show people, one, how to actually write content, because the best content you're going to get from AI is when you tell it to, I want you to include this. I want you to include this emotion. I want you to include this benefit. I want you to include this story, And when you tell it to include those things, it listens. But if you just say, write an article about this and use this tone and sound like an expert, it's going to be total shit, But if you write it very slowly in sections with specific instructions, then it comes out very good, in my opinion, especially for AI. And so what the course is and a lot of my clients now are using it. They have a human writer. The human writer understands good content. They create the outlines based on my style, and then they use AI to generate, and the content comes out very good. The AI has done 50 to 60% of the work. They've doubled their efficiency. The writer is producing way more content. In a lot of cases, the quality is actually improving because a lot of humans don't know how to write content well. They're learning those concepts from the course, right? And then they're getting content that ranks, that engages better. They get more time on page, more clicks, and that is improving the whole SEO ecosystem of the website. And also for agencies, if you have clients, a lot of them aren't going to like just 1-click or 2-click AI content. They're going to be more picky. So this course is going to help an agency provide better, if you're struggling to keep clients and clients are always pushing things back to you for edits and all that stuff, this course will show you how to create really high quality content that the client is actually going to like and accept, and your writers will be able to produce more. And in it, they're going to learn all of the concepts of high quality content like benefits and storytelling. They're going to learn how to outline properly. They're going to learn how to prompt properly. They're going to learn how to train the AI. And I say train, please don't think I mean fine tune. What I mean is how to get your custom GPT to sound like, the voice that you want, and to do high quality content behaviors rather than low quality AI stuff. So you're going to learn all of that, and then it's going to teach you how to do like a system where it's like, how do you produce the articles? How do you do quality control? How do you edit? All of those things. So basically you'll go from base level concepts to outlining to generating to editing to quality control, and you're going to have really high quality content at scale. And the main value of the course is that you can have your writer, they get the same amount of money as they did before, except now they're producing double the content. The content is better, and you haven't spent any more money. You're getting way more efficiency and better quality content.
Yeah, and this should be the main thing. How we can, as an agency owner myself, I always find the way how I can produce great content with low offers, and not low efforts, low money spending.
Yeah.
That
Well,
application is
it's not
right?
it's not low effort, but it's less
Yeah,
effort for sure because
definitely.
the thing about AI is that
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is the thinking now. You don't have to
Agree.
think and write, you know? AI is going to write for you. You need to think of it like, you know, I always say like think of it like in the Middle Ages. These really
Mm-hmm.
intelligent professors and these intelligent philosophers and inventors, they had scribes, and the scribe was the person who sat there and wrote the things down for them. They
Yeah.
would be like, "Hey, here's what I'm doing right now. Write this down." And that way they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have to sit there and write all day. They used their time for the more valuable things like whatever the hell they were doing at the time,
Yeah.
you know? That's what AI is for you. It's like, "Okay, I have this in my head. I want to write this." You give it the instructions and it writes it for you. You know, like that's how you should think of AI. You don't want to tell it to like you need to give me the analysis. You need to be the medical expert. You need to
Mm-hmm.
understand the customer. You need to understand the goal. No, AI does not understand those things. You need to
Yeah.
understand those things. You need to understand the customer. You need to understand the topic. You need to understand writing. If you say, write me an engaging and high converting article, that's total BS. You need to understand what's high converting and tell the AI how to do it. And when you tell it how to do it exactly, it does it amazingly. Like with ChatGPT now, like I get articles. I mean, the really high quality stuff, like we have some very like I work with some picky clients that need a lot of details, a lot of expertise. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's still human writing. That can, in my opinion, that's not done with AI. It's too much work and it's not going to come out right. But for most content now, like with clients, the AI gets like sometimes 70% of the work done for the
Yeah.
writer.
That's true.
So and then yeah, you go through and edit a little bit and that's it. You're done.
And yeah, totally agree with you. Even I think the more if you want a good output to the AI, you have to feed more information to the AI. I mean,
For
if
sure.
for any industry in the college section, college course too, there is one thing like if you want to write about an industry, first learn about that industry. So if I am sending information to any random person, it will take him days or maybe a month, right? But if I feed same information to the AI, it will be easier to him to understand, and it is quite less time than a human
For
effort.
sure. The more
Yeah.
context you add, the better. Like if you say like, "Hey, I want you to write about this," it's not going to produce something good. But if you say, "I want you to write about this,"
This.
include this statistic, make sure
Mm-hmm.
you touch on this point, and here's some
Mm-hmm.
extra information that I want you to include. You know, then you're going to get a much better piece of content that's unique. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
or if it's like, "Hey, I want you to write on the benefits of this SEO software," you know, you're just going to get something that's generic and it's not going to
Mm-hmm.
transition well. You know, but if you say
Yeah.
something like, talk about this benefit, how it's good for this market, transition
Mm-hmm.
to the next idea, okay, and then talk about this feature and how it's beneficial to SEOs. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff. The more context you give it, when you feed it that much context, it creates a really high quality piece of content. I would say better than 80% of human writers, because a lot of
Totally,
human
totally agree
writers,
on that.
humans are
Yeah.
just we're biological. We're only capable of so many things. Like even me, like 10 years of doing this, 11 years of doing this, if I write
Mm-hmm.
2,000 words, I'm done. You know, like my
Totally.
head is burning because I've thought so much about like the research and the market and the topic and the writing and the editing. I can't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I can, but it's tough and it burns the brain. It's like, okay, I'm done for today. I'm not writing more than this, you know? AI though, you can do 4,000, 5,000 high quality words in a day, maybe more. Will it be as good as a great human writer? No, of course not. But do you need that for SEO? Like, no, you don't, right? You just need it to be, you need it to have all the entities. You need it to be readable. You need it to be free of cringe, and you need it to be in the brand's tone, and you need it to be good enough that the reader wants to stay and read it and click around and trust you.
Yeah.
You don't need it to be a 10 out
Exactly.
of 10, you know? You
Exactly.
need it to
Yeah.
be a 7 out of 10, a 7.5 out of 10. The problem is that most SEOs, I would say, are writing it somewhere like a 4 or 5 out of 10 maximum
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because they don't really understand the content and how to write content, and they don't understand the reader. I've done workshops where, and I'm really grateful that people have come to the workshop. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just pointing it out that it's an issue, is that I've done workshops on writing content and people have asked me like, I've told them, hey, you need to understand what the reader wants. And they're like, oh, well, how can I know what the reader is looking for? Or how do I learn more about my reader? I don't really know anything. And it's like, wow, you have a brand and you have a content website or something around this topic, but you don't know what the reader wants yet. You don't know who the reader is. That's an issue. SEOs are very focused on SEO only,
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
doing the right
That's true.
keywords?
That's
Do I have
true.
the right technical aspect? Do I have the right links? They're not thinking about, SEOs are SEOs. They got that tunnel vision. This is what they want to rank. They don't care. They want to manipulate the algorithm, right? They're not thinking about, well, not manipulate, that's not the right word. They want to write for the
It's
algorithm to.
actually they want to write more about the search engine than the user.
Right,
That
they're
should be
thinking
the
more about the search engine than the user, right? Whereas you need to
mm-hmm.
think about the user, and even
Mm-hmm.
down to the blog level, at that page level. Who is this reader? What do they want?
Mm-hmm.
And you can even put that into your prompting, where you're writing a section. I write for that mental health clinic. If we
Mm-hmm.
have somebody who's looking to treat anxiety or something, you need to think,
Mm-hmm.
how is this affecting their life? And then you can put that into your prompt where it's like, in this section, remember I'm writing for somebody who's suffering from this and they want this outcome, Then it writes something that's really good because it'll mention like, we know you're struggling with this. And then if you are, okay, you might be feeling this, this, and this. We can help. Here's how we help. After this, you're going to have this outcome. And sometimes I read it and I'm like, shit, wow, I don't even think I could have generated something that good as quickly.
Yeah.
It's because I did the thinking. It's because I did the guidance I understood the reader and I guided the AI to do it.
This is something really amazing to know, man. This conversation, right, if someone was this full, I'm sure they will not ever the copywriting and these things. And I think we can talk about it hours and hours without any interruption. And I love to hear it because if Kevin is saying something and this is very valuable, definitely it is. And
thank you, man.
Yeah, I guess my question is over.
Okay, all right, that's all good.
Question is over, and it was amazing.
I'm always happy to talk content in general, AI content. I don't just do AI content, by the way. Like it's just that's obviously the big thing these days. I still do human content. I have clients, my mental health clinic client mostly is human written stuff. And we work with some very picky clients sometimes that need human written content. So, still do human writing stuff. But yeah, I'm mostly AI, mostly consulting, mostly training writers, building AI driven content departments and stuff like that. So, I would just say that if you're somebody out there in the SEO world and you have an agency or you have a website or a couple websites, you're kind of struggling to wrap your head around AI and you're not getting the results that you want from it, it's probably because you're trying to skip a step. You're trying to skip that step of understanding content first. And you should really think about it the same as like SEO. Just because you have AI tools doesn't mean you can do SEO. You need to understand the rules of SEO first, the basics of it. You need to understand keyword research and links and technical SEO and all that, right? Then you use AI tools to help you. And so if you're trying to get better content, you or your content department, they need to understand content first and then how to use AI to help them create that content. And so that's what I really implore people to think like, oh, okay, are we just kind of blindly using AI right now? Are we getting the right principles first? And we're using AI to help us.
Yeah. Again, Kevin, I think it was a great conversation with you and thank you once again for being my guest.
No problem, man.
It was lovely talking, man. And again, it was great.
Happy to do it, man.
Okay.
Ciao.